Let's now take you to Tshwane mortuary. This is where we believe families are identifying the bodies that have been retrieved from the Hennops River earlier today. Our reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa is there monitoring those developments for us. We'll bring you those visuals, in fact, as soon as they come in. But you will recall, of course, the developments in as far as this story is concerned come at the back of the disappearance, rather, of the three police officers who went missing last Wednesday. You will recall, of course, police then went on a frantic search for the three constables. Now, earlier today, once those bodies were retrieved in the Hennops River, of course, the families of the police officers were also called to Pretoria to meet there with the Police National Commissioner, General Fani Masumula. They met with the General Fani Masumula earlier on, of course, as you've heard from our reporters, including Crisalda Lewis there. That meeting would then lead to them going to the mortuary in Tshwane to then start the identification process of the bodies. I do see our reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa there. We'll go to her as soon as we can establish that line. But following the mortuary, then the intention is to bring them to the Hennops River, where, of course, the bodies were retrieved from that river. Let's see if we can cross now to Mbalenhle Mthethwa. Mbalenhle, of course, you are at the Tshwane mortuary. Talk to us about what are you seeing and what are you hearing? Have the families been meeting with police? What's happening now?
Well, certainly, Unati, the family has been meeting with police behind these doors behind me. I'm going to step out of the shot just to show you. We have been seeing family members coming in and out, and you will see that the police officials are inside. And the third family members of the three constables who are believed to have gone missing and who are the reason why the police have brought these family members to these premises here has been brought to the facility over here. We are still waiting for positive confirmation. However, so far, reports suggest that the one family has positively identified one of the five bodies which were retrieved from the Hennops River. My colleague Crisalda Lewis was there and covered what was happening there quite extensively. And right now we continue to wait for confirmation from the family members, including the police and the police officials which are here. We understand that the Commissioner of Police, the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masumula, Lieutenant General Fani Masumula, is here accompanying the family members of the three constables which went missing at the weekend. It is understood that they were last positively seen at a garage or a filling station on the N1 near the Khasmir Toll Plaza, and we understand that an investigation then followed once their cell phones were all switched off at the same time, and the location could not then be determined at the time by the tracking device or the tracking company that has fitted the vehicle they were traveling in with a tracking device. This is what has transpired since then. This morning, we received confirmation from the police that their investigations had brought them to the Hennops River. That is where they then retrieved five bodies and have since come to this very mortuary here. I'm going to step out of the shot yet again just to show you what is happening here in Pretoria at the mortuary, where we continue to wait for family members to give us what could be a positive confirmation as to whether the 3 constables lost their lives while on their way to an assignment in Limpopo. We understand that they had left Bloemfontein on their way to an assignment which was in Limpopo. This is where the investigations have led as the police investigations so far. For now, though, Unathi, I will hand back over to you in studio just while we continue to wait on the police to give us any form of confirmation.
And of course, Mbalenhle, maybe an opportunity for you to see if you can speak to the family members if they are willing to speak to them. But essentially, Mbalenhle Mthethwa there for us at the Tshwane mortuary, confirming there, and of course, this is breaking news, that indeed one of the family members has been able to identify one of the bodies that were retrieved at the Hennops River. Of course, this is a developing story that we are breaking for you here at the SABC News channel. And I mean, so many questions now being posed in as far as what really transpired, particularly as you've been hearing from Griselda Lewis, who is been stationed at the Hennops River in Centurion for the better part of today, that although these 5 bodies have been retrieved, one outside in the area, not necessarily in the Hennops River, the questions now remain in terms of the car that the constables that went missing had been driving. That too has not been found at this point in time, but an emblem of the vehicle displaying the VW had been found earlier. Another vehicle had been found also at the scene. I do believe Griselda had indicated that it was a Renault that was found also at the scene. And of course, the body of one man was also identified, not necessarily, of course, linked to the police officers who went missing 3 days ago. And of course, as police continue then to go through that process of identification with the families, as Mbalenhle has been telling us. The intention is then to go to the scene at the Hennops River in Centurion with the families for them to then speak to just some of the police officers and also just get a sense of closure and peace in as far as following those steps. And I would suppose also as they continue to seek answers too in as far as what really transpired at that particular crime scene. But this is a developing story. We'll keep you abreast then from all our reporters who are stationed at various angles. You will recall earlier on we spoke to another reporter in Bloemfontein. Of course, the police constables were en route from Bloemfontein to Limpopo and, of course, went missing, as Mbalenhle also indicated, were last seen or heard of at a petrol station in Grasmere, a toll plaza on the N1.